Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So today we're going to be talking about this game and basically its longevity, end game stuff, and answering a question that I saw on the channel here. And many of you know, a lot of pertinent questions and comments usually make it into the video pool. So today is one of those. So I saw a comment from somebody that said, I've reached level 40 and I don't know what to do. I beat the game, the Warlords of New York, and I don't know exactly what else I need to do. And I think this is a very genuine question because, first of all, a lot of people don't really know the nature of game that the Division is. They think their progression is just playing the story, getting to the end, and then, standing here and your agent's just like, okay, what do I do next? And I think that's a very interesting question. So in this video, what I'm going to try to do is answer a very small part of that question because, to be very honest, that question could take basically hours and hours to discuss a lot of the intricacies to getting you to exactly where you need to be. So first of all, I don't know all of the background. So it's either the agent boosted their character from level 0 to level 30 and then played Warlords of New York from level 30 to 40, or they played the entire game from level 1 through level 40. Even at that, once you reach level 40, there are still aspects of the game that you still need to get to deal with because there's endgame content even at level 40. So some of the endgame activities at level 40 include 3 legendary missions that are located in the Strongholds District Union Arena. If you look at it, when I try to change the difficulty, it goes to legendary. You're going to meet a hyped version of the Black Tusk called the White Tusk. And these enemies are very good, very strong, powerful, very coordinated, and very smart in their design. They can even one-tap you or just strategically take out your entire team of 4 players. And the goal is that you're able to go ahead and overcome this. Now, in playing a mission like this, or maybe say the other legendary mission that's located at a Capitol building, which is another stronghold, or the third one that's located all the way here in Roosevelt Island, which is another stronghold, one of the things that you want to do is you want to engage in gaining rewards that do come with the game. Now, there's something about the end game that also appeals to us, which is basically collectibles. Collectibles means we're basically collecting exotics. If you notice, I just went and bought myself an exotic blueprint for the Memento. I got that as a reward after completing one of the missions just now. So look on this wall right here. This wall right here is the wall for your exotic weapons in the Division 2. So this is actually my 3rd character that I'm actually taking through the end game. I have 1 on PC, 2 on PC, and then this is my first one that I'm actually taking time to want to level up here on PC. And even this wall doesn't even show all of the exotic weapons. In fact, this wall was designed for basically a select set of exotic weapons, but now because the game has started to evolve, we've started getting more and more exotic items that you need to first go ahead and fill this wall up and then some more. So if you notice right now, there's a weapon that's not on the wall. It's a Scorpio. They have not created the space for it, neither have they created a space for the capacitor. But there are other weapons like the Eagle Bearer, which also is an end game collectible that you can, engage in doing those activities to get in the raid. The raids are 8-man events. This is one of them. This is called Iron Horse. This is actually another raid that gives you another item possibility. This is called the Ravenous, and I think there are 2 exotics that you can get from here, the Ravenous and the Regulus. I don't have either of them because I'm not a big fan of raids, so that might be a thing for you, but I do have the Eagle Bearer on my main account. Now, I will play Dark Hours. I've played it enough where I'm very comfortable. My anxiety levels may not be too high, and it's very iffy with me, but I will be willing to actually play it. Now, yeah, maybe when I'm feeling really less anxious, I might dabble into that. And so that's another end game activity that you can basically get your hands into. And so this power level collectible type thing is something that we do in the end game, and that is just in the collectible side of things. And those are just even the exotic weapons. There are also exotic gear items that come in all of the 6 categories of gear. You have masks. There are 2 exotic masks. Backpacks. There are 2 exotic backpacks, the Acosta backpack and the Memento backpack. These are exotics that are very powerful. For the gloves, there's only 1, the Black Tusk gloves. I don't have one. For the knee pads, there are 2. I don't have any on this character. I have them all, by the way, on my main character. For the chest pieces, there are 2, the Ridgeway chest piece and the Tardigrade armor system. So the Ridgeway chest piece is also an item that you can get in another endgame activity over here called the Summit. So ideally, games like these, and maybe Destiny, maybe Borderlands, games like these are games that you actually are farming to get better items to make your character stronger in the battlefield. Now, not only are these characters there to make you stronger, there are a lot of other things and skill trees that also are hidden all over the place that will make your character even much stronger. And these are done in basically numerical, or in some cases, team-based buff values that you can use from the skill trees that we have available here. So here you have what we call the specialization trees that are attached to your specialization weapon. If you've noticed, I don't know, you've played the game up to 40, so you've noticed that if you hold down, triangle or Y, if you're using a controller, or if you're using a mouse and a keyboard, the 4 on your number keys on the top, you're going to switch to a weapon that basically is different from your other weapons. You're also going to notice that the amount of ammo that this weapon carries is very limited, and you can pick it up after filling up its meter. So here I have the crossbow. This is one of the specialization weapons, and it comes with a specialization tree. Now, if you bought the season 1 pass, you most likely have access to the 3 new specializations that were added to the game later on, which are Firewall, Gunner, and Technician. If you didn't buy it, then you have these research tasks that you have to do to enable you to access the specialization. And then when you access the specialization, then you start to unlock the different talents within the specialization. Now, for this particular character, I have not accessed any of them yet. I'm working on getting the Technician, but I'm not necessarily paying too much attention to it, honestly. But if you notice, I'm running the Survivalist, which does have a lot of these other talents that make me extremely stronger than, say, if none of these were actually done, in a sense, if you get what I mean. So if you probably look into your specialization tree, you're going to notice that everything is highlighted in white, or maybe you've actually leveled them up. But I would encourage you to go back and look through them and start wondering, how you can equip them and how you can get them to actually work. Now, if you bought the season 1 pass and you already have access to the specialization trees from the 3 that I just showed you, there are items within them in their field research that you can still get that are very strong. Now, some of them, yes, they've been changed. They're not necessarily as strong as they could be, but things like the Motherly Loves gloves, still very good if you actually want to get one of those. In the gunner side of things, I think you have the Vedmistia vest, which is actually a chest piece blueprint that comes with a perfect version of one of the talents that allows for very good weapon handling, which is a very valuable resource. And even here with the Firewall specialization, you also have the ammo dump holster, which is also a named Badger Tough holster as well. And you also have the Savage Wolverine, which is also another named assault rifle that's actually decent, and you get a blueprint for it. Blueprints are basically items that you can actually come in here to your crafting table and basically craft them if you already have the blueprints for them. So there are a lot of blueprints that may still be left to be collected if you are just getting to level 40. By the time you've spent maybe a few hundred hours, you would have eventually gotten your character to the max possible level, getting some of the best possible items in this game. And that's how a game like this basically functions. So those are some of the skill trees that I just wanted to show you. Now, let me go ahead and show you another addition that once you get to level 40, you have to start paying attention to, which is your SHD watch. Your SHD watch is something that you collected from Aaron Keener when you beat the last bad guy at the final mission. And this watch basically allows for you to be able to come back in here and spec to gain more stats that are actually adapted to your play style and to your agent as well. So, for example, right now, I'm running a build that is a skill-based build. So, skill damage, skill tier, status effects, all of that stuff. And so what I want to do right now with my Shade Watch is I want to kind of basically concentrate on using my Shade points to increase my skill damage, because mostly I'm usually running a skill damage, build or whatever it is. And I can also, spec into something else like weapon damage as well, or maybe spec into armor if I want to run a tank, and these will basically increase my total, base stats that I basically have on top of whatever it is I'm able to gather using my gear. And if you look at your gear, or if you've looked at your gear, depending on, what kind of gear you're wearing, you're going to notice that there are different stats on all the gear items, and you're able to do that as well. So when you kind of think about the amount of depth that goes into this game, I haven't even visited the specialization table and the specialization, the recalibration library and the recalibration station. This is where you go into a library and start storing some of the max and best stats that the game has to give you, so that you can actually transfer them to other items within the game. Until you do all of these things, you have not yet beaten the game, you've beaten the story, yes, but to beat this game, you would really have to do a lot more, than that. And there are agents who have, in essence, kind of beaten the game. I mean, they wouldn't even say that they've beaten the game. They'll just say that they have nothing else to do right now because they've done all that they feel that they want to do. But that doesn't mean that there isn't more for them to do. Because with the number of items that are even existing in this game, I mean, if you think about how many, gear items or gear sets or whatever it is, it's really interesting just to be able to see, what all the targeted loot options are. If you go to, say, the summit, you're able to get basically a profile of all of the gear that is actually existing in this game. And you can farm for almost every single piece of them, maybe say in the summit or around the open world, while some of them are actually located, and actually relegated to some of the other activities that many of us don't necessarily like to play. Example, the raids. If you play, only Iron Horse anyways. Iron Horse has 2 items that are not in the general loot pool, which actually do allow for your gear to be strong. Did I say 2 items? I meant 4 items. 4 items under 2 different brand sets, if you get what I mean. So it's actually really interesting, that somebody really did bring this up, because, it's really cool to be able to see how many players are engaging the game. And, look at all the combinations of items that you can basically farm. Now, some of them are, kind of useless, like 511. No one touches that. I think it's the only one that's basically somewhat useless, when it comes to its use, because the developers, for some strange reason, didn't really reinvent it. When the big patch came around, there was a big patch that came around that basically reinvented a lot of the gear, and then other patches came around and added more items to, to the gear pool. And 511 has basically been left in the dark. And then you also have gear sets. You also have weapons. Each weapon has got different possible talent, possible talents. Some weapons also have some, different amounts of rolls, quantitative rolls that they can have. And so you need to find yourself some of the items with the best possible rolls in the game that come with the talents that you do want to complement your build. So until then, there's so much more that you still have to do, more than likely, in this game. And so that's why many players will tell you that their playtime is in the hundreds, some in the thousands of hours. So I hope that answered your question in the most simple and most straightforward 13-minute video that I didn't even look at the time. Dang it. All right, if you have any further questions and you're new to the game, let me hear them in the comment section. This is very interesting to see that many people are just approaching this game right now for the very first time. And, our goal as veterans or as people who've been playing this game for a while is just to be able to help answer your questions regardless. Don't feel like a question is not a good enough question. People in the community are happy to answer if they see your question and they look and say, okay, this person might be new. They'll be happy to help you. Talk to y'all soon, hopefully. Peace.